Today I'm going to take you through my gym routine, which I do twice a week, pretty much every week. I should preface this video with a few points. I am not an expert in gym. I have not been to see a personal trainer for about 8 years. All of these exercises are exercises that I've been doing for the past 8 years, along with things that I've picked up from people who are much faster than me, and also from physios anytime I've been injured. I've only had 2 major injuries in my 20 years of running, and since then I've been able to add in exercises that have made sure those injuries don't come back, strengthened weak areas that I was maybe neglecting, and recent marathon blocks I've been able to handle over 130 miles a week without getting any injuries. And I think that almost all of that is down to this gym routine. As with anything in sport, please don't just jump into this. Make sure that you're starting light, starting with basic movements and building up very gradually. You have to do something that's consistent over a long period of time. As I said, I'm not an expert, but all of these exercises are exercises that I've used to run sub 14 minutes in the 5k, sub 30 in the 10k and the 2:18 marathon. I will go through every exercise individually, let you know when I added it, how long I've been doing it for, and if you get some value, give the video a like and subscribe for more videos like this. Next stop, the gym. The first exercise that I try to always do when I get in the gym, depending on whether I can get a rack or not, is just basic squats. I lift really heavy on these. I don't go all the way down. As you can see, I'm not winning a powerlifting contest anytime soon. These are just quarter squats, going down slower than you're coming up, trying to come up quite powerfully. I've been doing these since I went to see that personal trainer 8 years ago. So squats are first. For me, 2 sets of 5, 120 kilos. Don't go too deep. There's no need for running to go too deep. Just make sure you're getting down in a quarter squat and really pushing strong through the top. Since I've managed to get a squat rack, which doesn't always happen, I just stay there so that my next few exercises will also be done in the squat rack. The first of those are step ups. This is about really pushing through with a good weight onto the step. For this I do, again, 2 sets of 5. I am working towards building all of these up to 2 sets of 6 before upping the weight again, but right now we're still at 2 sets of 5, 75 kilo step ups. I added in these about a year and a half ago when I was struggling with a glute med injury. The physio got me doing these because there was quite a bit of weakness there. The glute med is the tendon right at the top of your bum, the bottom of your back, so everything at that sort of top end of your leg is affecting that glute med. The next exercise, another basic one that I've been doing for about 8 years, is single leg squats. Same sets, reps and weights as the step ups. 2 sets of 5, 75 kilos. Again, getting down, not going too far down, but making sure you're staying strong. All of running is done on one leg, so there will be quite a few single leg exercises in this, just making sure that there's no imbalances and that you can do the same amount on each leg. Final exercise in the squat rack. I don't actually know what these are called, maybe because I only started doing them about 6 weeks ago. This was recommended to me by my coach to try and combat the calf cramping issues that I get in the marathon. Basically what you want to do is put as much weight as you safely can on the bar, just get under the bar and really put all your force through the bar while standing on one leg. You see the clip now and it should be fairly self-explanatory, but all this force is really going through your calf. You're really pushing into the bar, only for 5 to 7 seconds. I do 2 sets of 6 seconds. The weight is not important, as long as it's too heavy for you to move and you can really push through it with all your force without it moving and causing you an injury. Moving away from the squat rack, the next exercise is hip thrusts. I also started doing these when I got my glute med injury, just really strengthening those glutes. I've managed to work up to 2 sets of 5 at 110 kilos. In this gym we have a inline bench, I think that's what they're called, which I use, but you can also just use the step up box or anything that's going to raise the top of your back off the ground a little bit. Just please make sure that you have the pad, or your hip bones are going to be sore. You may not even be able to do it without a pad. Maybe I just have soft bones, but it really hurts without the pad. Next is the first of 2 calf raises. This one is seated, and basically you're going to put a pretty heavy weight on your knee and just lift your heel off the ground. For this I do 2 sets of 8 at 40 kilos. Usually by now I would have upped the weight, but I can't really carry any more than 40 kilos. So if anyone has any tips on how I can increase this weight without actually having to lift a dumbbell, please let me know. Also, I should mention that I started doing this at the start of the year when I've seen people who are a lot faster than me do it in Kenya. Make sure you do your calf raises, people. I'm going to group the next 2 exercises together because I started them at the same time about 3 months ago after my London marathon. They were exercises that were suggested to me during that marathon block. So after getting cramp in the marathon, I decided to try and add something different to my gym routine. I also do the same sets, reps and weights on these. So the first one is single leg glute bridges, just on a bench, pushing up with the weight on your hip. I do 2 sets of 4 with a 22 kilo dumbbell. Next is side lunges, again just 2 sets of 4, 22 kilo dumbbell. I just hold the dumbbell in both hands because it's starting to get a little heavy. The final weighted exercise that I do is bent knee single leg calf raises. I try to do these on the Smith machine, but if your gym has one of these calf machines, you can also use that. I do 2 sets of 5, 80 kilos, really just strengthening those calves. This is one that I started to do when I had my first ever injury, plantar fasciitis, in I think 2017. So I've been doing this for about 6 or 7 years. Strengthen your calves. I forgot about this exercise because I hate it so much. Single leg RDLs, I just don't like them. I knew I should be doing them for years and I didn't. So I started doing them after the London Marathon about 3 months ago. This is really good for just strengthening those hamstrings. I just don't like them. I don't know why. I think it's hard to hold on at the bar for that long. My upper body is not strong, but I still do them now. 2 sets of 5, 45 kilos for me before I move upstairs for a couple of non-weighted exercises. The first of these non-weighted exercises is single leg Bosu squats. I've been doing these probably for around 4 years just because I seen Jake Lightman do them on Instagram. I thought they looked cool, tried them and couldn't do it, so it seemed like a fun little challenge for me to do. And honestly, it's probably the only thing in the gym that I can do that most other people can't. I know I could do these weighted, but I don't. Maybe I will one day, but right now I just do 2 sets of 8, getting as deep as my stiff old legs will let me. Last but not least is plyos. I've been on and off with plyos throughout my whole gym career. I did them a lot when I ran my track PBs, stopped them for a while, added them back in after the London Marathon in April because someone suggested that they may help with the cramps, and honestly I'm willing to try anything. I use a 30-inch box for 2 sets of 6 squat jumps, an 18-inch box for 2 sets of 6 hops, and then I do this little bounce for 2 sets of 16. I think that plyos are good if they can be done safely. Just try to do them landing on a box because you don't want too much of a landing force going through all your joints if you're just doing squat jumps and landing on the ground. I don't think it's worth the injury risk for the marathon. So squat jumps onto a box, hops onto a box, and then just the little bounces. And that's it for gym routine. Gym is done. Just a 45-minute session. Don't think it has to be any longer than that really. I'm not trying to get big, I'm just trying to stay strong and avoid injuries. I'll do a lighter gym session next week on Tuesday probably. Today's Sunday, but I'm racing a half marathon a week today, so I'll just do that lighter session on Tuesday and not do another one because I don't want my legs to be tired going into the race. I want to give myself the best chance for a good result. So subscribe if you want to see a video from the Antrim Coast Half Marathon, and I'll see you there. Cheers.